Hello, hello, hello. Should we start with a little intro kind of thing? Boom. And we go with the lo-fi music. Hello, Racing Man. I don't know that XP thing. Is it on YouTube? You mean? Yeah. It I don't know what it is. It looks like Racing Man was number one first. Then Kiltusar became number one. I don't know. It depends on how much you chat. So let me try something new today. Let's see here. Let's fill up the coffee here. Oh, it's dragging out. Takes time to make coffee. Yeah, anyway. So let's see what I should press here. Is it this one? Yes. Okay. Hello. I'm back to streaming a bit. Let me just check how is the... Oh, it looks like... No, just a second. Music is okay? Yeah, it's okay. Perfect. So, hello, Vam on Discord. Hello, Racing Man, Kiltusar, Ian. Boom. It's my little, I don't know when I created this intro thingy, but it was just like a little cozy thing I did as an intro to one of my videos at some point. And now I'm just using it sometimes just for a little B-roll, you know, preparing for stream. But anyway, I come prepared today because this guy who made something you can't see because the chat is in front of it. Yes. Remind me to put the chat back. So he did a little PowerPoint. It doesn't say 3D modeling here, but that will come at this point. Just want to give a quick little developer status. I will put that in the developer news that I will post in a few days too. But just to get over or give you an update. It's called. Hello, Berto. So look at me with PowerPoints and laser pointers and woo. But anyway, so the NGO update to the mods tools. I don't know if anybody remember or if you know what it's about. Don't want to go too into it, but it's something so modders can do network stuff and start building network-enabled mods for the game. It's mainly Guanaco doing that. But it's an important, and Panini also talked a little about it, but it's still in the experimental thing. But it seems like technically it's actually now working in the newer version of the game and with the new experimental mod tools. But it's not released yet and it's not ready to be used as such. Guanaco's testing it out. So that's the code gen support thingy. Secondly, we have this in-scene game object support, which also sounds very technically. And what does that mean? That basically means that so far modded maps could not have objects in the map as part of the scene that you could move around that was synchronized. So this alone is a big one because it kind of enabled destructible maps if modders want to do it, because they have to do some work to do that, but it technically is possible now. And combined with this one, which could be, they don't have to be used together, but these two combined can generate some very unique and, you know, people can do new logic and stuff like that in some modded maps. So that's very interesting. But it would take a while before we actually get it tested, everything is working, and people are building stuff that use these things. I was hoping to put this into I currently have two versions of the game. I have the released version, and then I have a branched out version where I'm working on this firing system thing, which we get back to in a moment. And I was hoping to include this in the normal version so it could come out before the firing system, and that's still the plan. I was just hoping I could release it now, but as you might have seen in the experimental branch, there are some issues, and I have also seen on for myself that it shows some warnings, and there is some memory leaking thing, and I think it's a problem in Unity. I think it's some of the latest version. Unity releases a new version of Unity. I don't know if it's every week or every second week. And I was just like, let's upgrade to the latest, so it's all good. And every time I do that, I get punished because now I can't really release this thing because we have this memory leak thing. So I'll just wait it out and see if updates of the Unity version helps on these memory leaks. They are not related to the changes I have made here. I'm pretty sure about that. It's purely related to something inside Unity. So I'm basically waiting on Unity before I can release this. So funny enough, we waited 2 years for them to fix this, but now we fixed it ourselves, or this one actually, and now we're waiting on something else on it. But anyway, that's how it is. We also get a lot of good stuff out of Unity, so no problem. And it was also my stupidity to upgrade to the latest because I was just like, it must be, it's maybe better. But it wasn't. And then you can say, why don't you just go back? And I could also do that, but that conflicts with something else I made, because upgrading to the latest version pushed me to do some new consent flow for access. It's something super boring for players, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But there are some changes in how Unity Analytics and their crash reporting works. So users now have to accept them, and the easiest way for me to do that is to have some pop-up when the game first starts. So you kind of accept, or you need to accept or decline this and use Unity Analytics, and then the game will then either connect the data and send them or not collect them. And I just extended that initial startup acceptance flow to get it out of the way, to be honest. So you also can accept the mod.io terms there, because if people do that when they join in, it's much easier, because then everything just works and there's no issues. Because if you haven't accepted the mod.io terms, you can't join multiplayer games, and it will ping you that it won't load and blah 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 blah. But anyway, and I cannot downgrade to an earlier Unity version because then this doesn't work, the new stuff I've made for this. So then I also have to revert that manually. Anyway, long story short, I also added, so we are basically waiting on that. That's what I'm saying. So on the experimental branch on Steam, there is this new version which have some of these things that you can't see, but this one you can see. And then there's also another one that is included in that, and that is the wind speed command, something that Amnesty asked for a long time. So it will eventually end up in the UI somewhere in the host settings. But right now there's just to test it out, there's a wind speed console command called fm-host-wind speed. So you can set the wind speed and the smoke, and maybe I have let me see something here. Maybe I actually have a video of it, just to show it quickly. Not 100% sure. Let me see here. Let's see, no, that's not the one. I don't want to spend too much time. Okay, but I can show you something else, by the way, now that we add. This is actually showing the in-scene game objects. So this is one of the modded scenes, and now we can have stuff inside it that is synchronized. So we have the host to the left and a player to the right, and you can see both can now move this thing around. Yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway, that was a long talk about that. Well, if people don't want, they can also change the game to be full mod support. Yeah, that's right. But then they're also missing out on other stuff. But yeah, you are really missing out if you're not using the mod.io. But anyway, so firing system progress, which is the interesting thing. And that video can actually run here in the background maybe while I talk about it. Yes, because I have made this firing system now in the simplest version, where I have the one you can see here, the controller to the left, and then some receivers that is now connected, and they are set up to a queue, and then you can press 1, and then all the ones that is set up to be Q1 will trigger their fireworks, and 2 and 3 and so forth. It's a very simple little system, but what I did lately here is that I also made it work with the blueprint system, so you can now save and load setups like this. This is a very simple little setup, and you cannot see much because it's very dark. But that basically works. So the next step in that, because it works and it's proof that the basic setup works, but it's kind of useless also because it's kind of a more one-to-one, and you cannot really, you have to set up a lot of receivers and stuff like that. So the next step here is to create a new multi-queue receiver. And I don't know if it makes sense, but the one I have right now, which is the one actually you can see in the background, it's one receiver you place, and then you click up and down here to select what queue you want it to listen to or react to. But you can see it's one receiver, one queue. So what I want to do now is, because in real life you have these receivers with multiple queues, so you can have like, there's maybe 12 or 20 or how many little dots, and I can actually show a picture of that, but I will get to that because that's what I will be modeling in a moment. And the point is, then you just spawn one controller, and then you can hook up things to that, and then you can trigger it similar to this, but you don't have to spawn as many receivers. It's to simplify things a little. And then I also have some other ideas for the controller part. And the controller is of course the one where you firing stuff from, and the receivers is the one receiving these signals and triggering firing off some fireworks. Enjoy, as it says. But let me open it up here so we can see. Let me just open it up. So let me take back the chat here. So what we have right now is I use a lot of the models from Cincy Studios and then combine them to different things. So you can see here I have some buttons here. Right now it looks like, but don't worry, it will be good. And the model doesn't have to be perfect, but there are some things that I want to include in it, which I can show you here. Because what I'm not cloning this specific brand or anything. I'm just using these images as reference, for inspiration. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. But maybe I can do like this. No, I can't either. Perfect. Okay. But anyway, can I open a new tab? Yes, and then we can zoom in. Yes, okay. So basically, the receiver I have right now have one of these, and then you have one box for one of these, and I want to create something like this, so I have multiple fuse ends, and there are some technical challenges in that. So what I want to do is create something like this, and for the receiver, I think it'd be pretty simple model-wise, because we just need all these connection points. And actually, I think now that I listen, now that I think of it, this is actually the controller. So this is the other thing. That is this part here. So this is the controller part. So this is the one you will be clicking at. And right now that have, 1 to 9 or something to match the keyboard. But, we will be limited with these 1 to 9s and stuff like that. So we have to figure out a system where we can have multiple buttons and maybe also an easier way to trigger it. It's very funny to be pressing on the numpad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. But maybe we also need a system where you can kind of say next, 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 next. So it's a manual triggering system, but it will automatically take the next one. So you go first click Q1, then you wait, the music, then you click number 2, boom, then you click number 3. So you can manually time the show to some music. And then of course the third step is to make a controller that can do this automatically. So you say, okay, at 2.5 seconds, fire Q1, and then 2 seconds later, there you go with Q2, and so on and so forth. So it's automatically. But that's how, I developed the system one step at a time to kind of evolve it. Also because I have to make it like that, because I cannot sit down and think out the way it have to work at the end, because I have to try it to figure out how it should work. But anyway, so this is actually the controller we have here, and that's actually not what we want yet, because I rather want to have the receiver. I want to fix that problem first, because there is a technical, not a problem, but there's a technical, might be a technical challenge in the multiple connection thing. But anyway, yeah, so let's try and model something like this. And I think actually the case here is kind of okay. And what I use is this Synthi Studio Dex here, where you can search for computer, for instance, laptop maybe, laptop. So you can I can use that as kind of a base for this. And then what I did with the other one here was that I just made it thicker so it looks more like these other ones. But anyway, let's hide this one. And then let me, so this is the receiver we have right now. Simple little one. So let's make, right now it's just called receiver 1, but I don't know what we should call it, because we might need to new collection. Let's say could call it 2 just for now, but I think eventually I will have to name it something like, single queue, multi queue, or 12 queue, or whatever. It also has to be a modular system where, models can also create these things and then have, another amount of connections. But anyway, so we need to have the base in here. We need to have kind of the base of this. Where is it? Ah, okay. Ah, did I close that? Oh. So we don't want to look at this one. Just take it here. Some other time. Scroll back to 100% and here. Okay. So we need something that looks like this. This little box here. So I still think we need to start out with some kind of laptop, and then I will go from there. You can see here there's this, I think I used one of these military ones. This one I think I used. Which might not be the worst actually, still to use. Or maybe it was this one. Ah, it's an interface. We don't want that. It's this one. Maybe actually this one is the best, the one I already have. So we can just basically we could just copy it from here. So I think I can take this controller here. Can I copy it? And then, yes, I can. But I'm not sure if, I'm not an expert in Blender. So there might be some kind of reference now. Unlink. That was not the right one. I don't know what that means actually, but yeah, we'll figure it out if it's a problem. Can I change this? Let's see. Ah, okay, I'm also missing the lid. So that's the, okay, wait a second. So that's the base. Ah, the lid is here. Okay. So we just need this one also. Oh, it would be very nice if I could zoom in, but apparently it's listening to the other screen. Does that sometimes. Let me try and, no, I cannot do that. Anyway, normally I will just zoom in to make it a little more interesting to look at, but I can't right now. Yeah, no. It's not following the mouse because it's listening to the other screen. Yeah, annoying. Anyway, You'll live. Okay, so we have this, and this is of course too big, I think. So I think we'll start out by taking both of them and then scale it down like 0.7 or something like that. Something like that. And then we take the lid here. Then we grab it and then we move it here. Also need some antenna on it or something like that. Now it's a little hard to see how big it is compared to other stuff, but so let's see. It's actually much smaller. Again, I'm not trying to create a replica of this. I'm just using it as inspiration. Because we actually need buttons on this one to be able to change the channel, because the cues are kind of set. But yeah, okay. Anyway, maybe we should we model first? Should we make it? No, let's make it a little darker so it's a little more. Now let's take this base better. Let's take the base one first, and then let's say let's see. So if you take this, what? Oh, it was the wrong button. Damn it. Nope. What? What? Okay. So, and here you can see that that's actually two colors, but okay, we can make it a little darker. I think that would be great. And then we can take this. But okay, maybe the coloring is not that important really at this point. Or well, it is, because I said I would do the modeling, so in that case it is. But it's really not my. Okay, that's annoying. I feel like a UI version will be much easier to use. Don't really have a receiver limit. Yeah, but this is the receiver part. Yeah, I know. You can, like in fireworks, you just walk up to some fireworks and then you give it a cue, right? I don't know. It feels a little weird, I think. I don't know. I know it doesn't have to be realistic here, and that's not my goal either. But it has to be a little realistic and fun, or you know, entertaining to kind of set up somehow. Hello, Elmo Place. I like paninis. Yeah. Oh yeah, when you walk up to receiver, click it, and then some UI shows up, and then you set it. Or do you mean you mean the controller? The controller part. But my idea here is that Yeah, I basically want. Let me see if I can find this. I have some screenshots. Let me see. No, I don't have that. Yeah, a mix of both. Yeah, but that's also what I think. But again, right now I'm gonna make both, also to test out what works best. Because yeah, I don't know. We have to feel what works best. But right now, when I'm doing the modeling and was thinking, oh, let's do modeling, I'm so much a programmer that I already want to put it into Unity to try, and because I know the challenge will be to have multiple fuse points. But let me now try and stick to this, because I will have to make it work. So it doesn't matter if I take it into Unity to make it work there, because there's no doubt about, and I know I will make it work like that. So I'm just convincing myself here. It do make sense to try and do the modeling for the receiver here. I mainly mean the laptop he made. Yeah, so you click at the UI and then yeah. But that is also, I want to do some kind of the same, but make it both a little more simple and more advanced, you could say. I don't know exactly how. I just know I will end up making it like that. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So I think we will go for a very dark one here, right? We could also, instead of me. Okay. Wait. Okay, let me make it easier for myself. I take everything, then I scale it over here, and then I make it dark. Boom. Then everything is dark, and you can see here, very dark. Then we can take the individual part and make them a little lighter, and that's much easier than what I was doing. Idiot. So let's see. What do we have here? We have render. That looks crap. Okay. So let's take the handle, for instance. Let's make that a little. I think I can do something like that. And then we can make that a tiny bit lighter. We could actually, if it was, also, and that's actually not a bad idea. Here it's kind of red at the handle. And I think, because already when I'm playing around with the system I have right now, one of the challenges I already noted down that I need to solve is that you very, very quickly get lost in your own setup. Where are the, because typically it's dark, you're setting this up and it's dark. So you lose track of where your receivers are. So I need to also figure out some kind of system so it's easy to find your receivers again, and maybe on a distance be able to see some kind of, in 3D world graphics, so you can see kind of the names or the channels or something like that, so you can better get an overview. And one of the things in real life, I think, again, I have no idea how this fireworks stuff works, but I guess this red handle makes it easier to find and see this very dark black box when you need to find it in the dark, I guess. So with that said, let's try and do the same. So let me actually make it as dark, maybe just a little tiny bit lighter. And then we make, actually we could just make it easy, so I can just take all of these, whoops. And then I can actually make that red. Or yellow maybe, because that's more kind of the game's color, right? Oh, red and yellow is actually, so it could be both really. Because then it would look like this. Yeah, Yeah. And then also, again, I'm just designing here. I'm not really a graphics designer at all. So let me make these two also yellow. And now I have to check it. It's the same color. That is the same. And what I'm looking at here, you can see this little orange dot over here. That is what I'm selecting. See, now I'm selecting this one, and that is getting this color over here. So if I move this around, that's how I color stuff. You can see when I move it around, it changes over to the right over here. So anyway, just have some kind of distinct look here. So that's actually not a bad idea. Let's do the same for the lids just to make it look. So just a second down here. So let's change to the lid. And then we go here. And then we select all, we scale it down, and then we go to this one. So now they're kind of the same. And then let's take these up here and make them yellow too. Again, to make it seem like it all fits together. And see here, now we already have a pretty nice box. But I kind of feel like it needs to be a little more, it feels a little thicker, this one. It's like a tiny little thick one. So can we, I cannot select, I don't think I can select, oh, can I do that? No, okay. Okay, let's do one at the, no, maybe a little smaller. Yeah, okay, so it is actually kind of small already. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe we have to see it in game to be able to see how it actually feels. But I can scale it up and down. Yeah, okay. Let me just rename this because I just saw the name was wrong. So, receiver, base 02, boom, and lid, boom, 2. So I have better names, and this mesh thing, I don't want to mess with that. Fine, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. But it kind of looks cool with that yellow thing, right? It's kind of okay. But and don't be scared, it always looks weird here in Blender because I don't know how to set up lights and post-processing and all that in here. And it doesn't really matter. In game, right here it looks weird and cheap, but in game with lighting and effects and stuff like that, it will look much better. So actually I see, again, it doesn't have to be one-on-one, but I'm just trying to get that kind of, so it actually needs to be a little more wider. So what we could do is we could take, let me take it from the top here. Nope, top. And then we do like this. And then I think we can take, nope, that's not the one. This one. Something like that. And then here. Then I would think we can take, no, wait a second. That's not what we want to do. We want to do like this, and then we can scale it in the x-axis. So we make it a little wider like that. Something like that. And then of course, maybe I need to. So I say scale x 0.8. And then I take the lid, and then I, have to scale it on x 0.8. No, that won't, because it's, damn it. how to scale it on a local. Oh. Transform, scale. Okay, fair enough. Okay, we can see scale 2.8. That was not good. It still matches that. Oh, damn it. Okay, what if we so we rotate it? Can we just rotate it to 0 or something? Can we do that? No. So like that, and then we scale it on C and C. No, it's still weird. Feeling better. I'm up at I'm feeling 92%, I guess. Feels all right. My head is a little there, but not much. And of course, I'm a bit more tired than I used to be. But else, I'm okay. And then I cough. Which not on would haven't actually been a problem in the stream. So yeah. Good to get to work. I'm trying. Right now I'm trying to scale a little, which is apparently very, very hard. So this is fine, but why can't I just scale? See? So what is it? What? Scale X? Scale Y? No? Scale C? No? Scale X? No? I want to scale it this way, and that's C. But when I do say scale and C, and then do it, it's like, see? But that is my, okay, wait a second. So this is me just, okay, rotation. This is me not knowing, not knowing Blender. But now I freaking nailed it. Oops. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Just here, and then we can scale it back a bit again. But now it should fit. You can see it fits. Nice. Scale? No, not scale. Rotate. Rotate Y. See here, we can open and close the lid. So, if I could figure it out. Okay, but it doesn't have. It will not in the game. I don't think I will make it so you have to open it and stuff. I think it will just spawn it like this. Again, to take away some of the maybe not that interesting. But it could also be that you spawn it and you have to click it. It opens up. Blah 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 blah. If you want to add some more steps, sometimes that can also be. That's actually one of the reasons I made. I went from just you having to click on a fuse to ignite it, to you actually having to hold your torch on it for a while, because I figure out that you are a bit more committed to that fireworks, you have a better relation to that fireworks, you could say, because you spent half a second igniting it instead of just an instant click. It actually makes a difference. So, and that's also what you see in these, for instance, some of these all these supermarket simulator and stuff like that you have to do a lot of manually boring tasks that you can then later automate. But if you have these boring tasks, but they are nice to do, it's actually a good feeling. So if you can click on this and it's open up the lids in a nice way, for instance, with a light animation and sound, so it feels nice, then it's nice to open it. Just like for instance, the buttons on the receivers, they are pretty nice to click on now because they kind of light up and give a little sound when you click it. Of course, you haven't tried it yet, the majority of you, but there's a big difference between just clicking and something happen and then clicking and some lights goes off and a sound and stuff like that. Anyway, what am I going to say? Pure Pyro, I'm not trying to copy this exact brand of fireworks systems or receiver. I'm just getting some inspiration for the looks of it, basically. So that's basically what I'm doing here. So now I make this little chubby receiver here, which is pretty nice. We also need an antenna maybe in the side here. I can make my own antenna, but let's see if they have one here, just for the fun of it. So basically, Sensor Studios is the company making all these models that I use for all the environments in the game and the characters and stuff like that. And they have this Sensor Decks where you can search in all their asset packs, along their packs. And then, because it's easier to search in here, and then I can search for antenna, for instance, and then I can go in to that package and then take that FBX 3D model, FBX file 3D model, and then I can use it in here. This started out as a laptop and now I'm kind of changing it to a receiver model. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm not a 3D modeler, so I cannot do all this stuff on my own. I guess an antenna I could do that, but we could do something like that. It's just it doesn't really fit. We also put something like that on. Doesn't really fit either. Sci-fi. This one could fit. But actually I wonder, but really on a real one, it would be more something like this, you know, something like that goes out and then up. For instance. You should make it a bright color like orange or yellow. The entire one, or only the antenna. I don't know if you are getting this message, but your stream seems to be down. Okay. Yeah, it's this. Yeah, okay. Thank you, son. I don't know if it's. Just a second. Let me try and stop it again. I think it's sometimes I'm just stopping the Twitch stream now and then starting it again. I think it's because on YouTube it's still live, Keltusar, but on Twitch it's not. And I think it's because I'm streaming with a higher bitrate, which I should be in the beta on Twitch to do that. I'm streaming at 10k kilobits, which is fine for YouTube, but Twitch cannot normally handle that. But because I'm in a beta for 1440p streams, it should work, but it doesn't always. And then it actually, as Son said, it's not. It just shows your stream download was cancelled. Try again. Error 1000. So I think it's something with that beta that is not good. Pretty annoying. Anyway, back to the question. Just a box so it would be easier to see as the game can be read. Exactly, Power. Thank you, son. Thank you for subscribing. But it is something with that beta and how I stream and stuff like that. But I'm shutting down in like 5-10 minutes anyway, so I'm not gonna look into that now. But anyway, I was actually, I don't know if you were here before, Pyro, pure pyro. But the reason I made them yellow here was exactly for that reason, so it's easier to see when we are in the game, because already with the stuff I have made, you pretty quickly get lost where things are. But I will also solve it in another way. This is more kind of how you would do it in real life, because if we are looking at the reference model here, you can see it's also red here, and I guess that's could be to make it easier to find. So that was why I was just thinking, okay, let's make these yellow so they kind of stand out a bit. Yeah, cool, son, cool. And thank you for following, by the way. Dead platform anyway. And added green light for when something is queued on, and red light when something is not. Yeah, exactly, but that will come on the different, because this one, this is the, right now I have made this receiver, which is a single one. And right now I will change this model too, because right now, just for the testing of it, I just connect it to the antenna here, which is of course not correct. So I will also change this model to be kind of more like this model, which is kind of a box you put on the ground. I will just make it a smaller box that you put on the ground with just a single node that you can connect to. But this one is the first multi-queue receiver. And I'm creating the model for it first. I don't have the logic for it, but I'm creating the model here. So this will, I will just create 5 or something, just to have more than one, so I can test it. Oh, hey, Monkey Loots, that's done. Okay, so cool. I just have a dog that wanted. Joke, the dog just wants to enter the stream. Select it down. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing now. I just want to do one with, this will eventually maybe have more, but I will just do a few now to have more than one, so I can use that model to set up and do the logic in Unity. But exactly stuff like you said there, these little connection points need to have, of course, the connection that we used to, so you know where you can connect it, but it will also need to have some other tiny lights to exactly show up if something is connected to it. And also maybe the same or a different light can be used to when you, because if you, now it gets a little more complicated, but when we get to create, again, I'm not going to create a replica of this one. This is just one ignition system brand, just for some inspiration. But something that they all have is, I don't know what the lamp is, but and I haven't read up, but I'm just looking at pictures and then making my own conclusions. And one thing they all have is some kind of test arm system. So the controller itself need to be able to be in a test state, I guess. So you can click a button and then maybe, and that needs to be in a distance, I guess, I don't know. But then when you click Q1, for instance, all the Q1 lights up without actually blowing up. I don't know if we actually need that because we have blueprints, so we can just reload stuff. I just think it could be a nice little cool feature to have things, you know, glow up so you can see what things will go off or whatever. Some mechanisms that I don't know how will work, but that will make it easier to kind of predict and test your setup before actually shooting it off. In real life, of course, it's very expensive to shoot it off, so you're more interested in having these test mechanisms. In the game, not so much. So basically, you could just fire it off and then reload it. So maybe this feature is not that interesting, but I just find it cool. Another note, just to share my thoughts here, because before I read the chat again, for the receiver itself, for the controller itself, the one you're actually pressing to fire stuff off, also need to have an on-off switch. I think it would be cool to turn it on, you know, so it lights up, the button lights up, things lights up. And also I was thinking that maybe, I don't know if it should be a setting, but maybe we should do it so that it's only the user that spawned the receiver and the controller that can actually ignite it. So you cannot have, because else we will have a problem in a multi in some cases we'll have a problem in a multiplayer session, right? Because then all controllers will fire off all receivers and then we have a mess. But let's take that when we get to it. I don't think that would be so hard to do actually. No, this is both weird and forward, but may I show you something? It's one of the reasons I joined your Twitch. Okay, yeah. Let me see. But I don't think you can send a link. Okay. Yeah, exactly as Kellustar says, it's better to do it on the Discord because you cannot send link or anything here. That would be great. Have a test mode and don't actually fire fireworks. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a safety thing. Also because, again, as I said before, for instance, in a supermarket simulator, there's a lot of stuff you don't need. But having these little extra things that you can click and that are nice to click on, and also so when you take it in arm, maybe a red light shows up, so you kind of now it will go off. It's these small things that actually adds to it, maybe, depending on if I can make it good enough, but let's see. In your promo, okay, let's check. So what is that? Is that... Okay, let's see what it is. Yeah, okay. Was originally made as a toy for my daughter. If you see the screen, fireworks launch. House launch, maybe I should turn it down. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I can also click. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was also exactly the same thing, Kellusam. Maybe you, as the spawner of the controller, you can maybe go into an option in that controller and select who other players on the host can fire it off. For instance. Okay, apparently I have a little longer time. No dinner right now. Just a second. Hello, SuperPyro19. Even if people won't use it, it's still cool to have the ability to use it anyway. The thing I posted was we just screen fireworks launch. Maybe we can transfer ownership of our system to anyone. That's reply to that. Means to make it a stream redeem. Stream redeem. What do you mean? What's that? Or trigger redeem? Huh? Nah. Okay. So. So you can use this as as a bot thing. Okay. Trigger via. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, Max. That's pretty cool. but I don't have much knowledge and time to set up bots and stuff like that. But if I can just paste in a website, you know, just like I have the normal widgets, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway. It looked pretty cool. Okay, so for this receiver here, let me add some connection points. And they don't really need to be... let's say the base here. So the thing is that for now, let's not think too much about optimization and all that stuff. Let's just create something. So let me again take some buttons here, and then we just go from that. So, whoops. Why can I move it? Okay, that's not possible. Okay, perfect. So let's say Q01. Boom. So we can do something like that's okay, it's just the top. Ah, damn it. No. The pushable. Okay, that doesn't matter right now. I can just use one. It doesn't have to be that good model stuff. Let's just do something like this and then scale it like this. And then scale, and then we make it some kind of yellow color too. No, apparently not. What? Everything here? Here? Scale down? What? What am I missing here? I didn't assign... damn it, I didn't assign material. Wait a second. Firing system, material 1. Okay, here we go. Okay. But there's still something. Why was this a material? Okay, I'll clean up that some other time. That's fine. Just to have some connection points. It doesn't have to be that crazy. So let's go into this again, and then we do like that, and then we copy here, boom, and then we can I duplicate that? No. Can I do like that? No. How do I... Is it Control D? Control D? No. Again, I haven't been in Blender in freaking long time. Okay, wait a second. There's still only one. Okay, that's good. So we do it like this and then we copy it. Yes, perfect. Okay, except no. Okay. And then we do that. Here we go. And then we do this and we grab and move it. Nope. Grab, move it. Yes. We do 5. Like that, scrap, move it, something like that. Okay. That looks like shit. Okay. Cause I'm an idiot. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Okay, it looks like crap. But anyway, so I cannot have them here. I cannot. It's too crappy. I have to move them a bit. At least make it centered like. Let's just make it like this. Perfect, and then we do. Oops. Boom, like that. Okay. No. Set origin. Set up mass. Okay, like that. Boom. Okay. So this is a very, very simple one. Sorry, I didn't see. Boom. Also, congrats on the first channel I've ever subbed to on YouTube. Oh, crazy monkey. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you. So where are you from, monkey? Like, country-wise? Yeah, where are people from in general? I know Keltusar, Germany. Bertu from Denmark, right? Choxty from Netherlands. But what about the rest of you guys? So, are we at the point where we should try and export it? Because I don't want to spend too much time modeling. I know I said I would be modeling, and I did. But I still feel it doesn't feel as choppy as I want to. But anyway, let's see. Okay. Let's try and export this one just to see how it looks in the game. So we are in this one, yes. Assets, models, firing system, receiver 2, and then we need to have active collection and mesh only, and apply this one. Let's see. And let's also open up Unity. Yeah. Let's do a little change of just watch me here while I'm opening Unity. Okay, here it comes. It needs to start anyway. It takes a while. So we can do a little chatting while we wait. Hello, Lucas. Player. Yeah, the stream seems down on Twitch, which you cannot hear now. Yeah. It's weird. I have it before, and then sometimes it works, and then sometimes it doesn't work. And you can refresh, and then it's there. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It still says it's not working on Twitch. Let's see here. So this is Twitch. Perfect. And then sometimes it loads something. So I don't know if, I guess Twitch is not down, but I think it's something with me streaming in 1440 and have a too high bitrate. That has been a problem before, at least. So it's really annoying. Really annoying, actually. Very, very annoying. So now we will open up. While we wait on that, no, let's just wait till we get into YouTube. And I have to get into Unity. I just want to see how the model looks in game, you know, size-wise. And then right now the model is very simple, but it's good enough for me to create some logic for having multiple connections. It might not sound like something, but right now I only had one connection so far. Luckily, I have extended the firing system to have multiple connections because I need that for the mortar system, the new mortar racks. So it should be, knock on wood, be fairly easy. But that's kind of the next point, you know, having a receiver with multiple queues. Yeah, and then I have to make the logic to make that work. And then I can extend the model, put a little, you know, antenna on and whatever lights needs to be there and make it look nice. But I think I will rather go and work on the controller because that is more advanced than the receiver, really. So we can have a more advanced controller with channel selection and a way to support multiple queues. Maybe have this logic for going next every time you press. But I still have a challenge that I haven't figured out yet, but again, I will have to find out by trying out. About how you interact with this, because it's weird. It's hard to explain, but you want to hold it in your hand and press buttons, but you also don't want to have it in your face when you want to watch the fireworks. So it's kind of a but maybe there's different scenarios for both things. I don't know. Anyway, let's just take a quick look here. We should see in here in art, models, in firing system, we should have a receiver 2. Boom. Okay, little bastard here. Yep, nice. So let me go here and then let me go to the... So let's just do a quick receiver. So 02, maybe we should call the other one 01. That might be a good idea. But anyway, so let me... that's not correct. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So here we need to have this one. Duplicate that one. I'm just creating and I need to rename it the other one afterwards. Maybe I should just do that right away. So let's just do 01. And then I rename this, which you should never do, by the way, because it will break blueprints. And then we have this one, which we'll also rename to 01. I have to find a better naming at some point. But anyway, I have to redo it anyway. And then we have 2, and then we need to have 2 there, and we need to update this one. Yes. And we just give it a 02 name and 01 name, just to have that. Perfect. And then we need to go to the... Where is the game entity definite connection? And then we should be able to do like that. And then we have it in here. Perfect. And then we can go in here. And then we can change the model to the... actual model we have here. Boom. Okay. So we remove. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should reuse some of it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll have a problem here. Where's my gizmo, by the way? Huh? Where did my little what? There used to be a little thing here. Ah, okay, that's because damn it. Sorry, my bad. So let's see. Okay. Actually, looks pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So we take this one and let's just zero it out and see. Okay, it goes to the ground. That's perfect. So of course we are missing some buttons to change the Q channel. Change the. Yeah, we don't need that because the Qs are in there. Okay, yeah, okay. Anyway, close this one. Oh, delete that one. So let's see. We have this, and we have some box here. Let's say that weighs a little more. Let's say it weighs 4. We have some box thing here for some collision stuff. Right now, let's make it simple so it just collides with this, roughly. Don't want to have one on the lid yet. Just want to have a quick one here. This one doesn't have to be perfect, you cannot see it anyway. And then we have this little UI thing that we're gonna hide for now because I don't think, at least for now, we don't need it. Yeah, and then we need, so okay. And then we have a electrical fuse here, which is up here. Let me do like this, and then let me do like this. So this is one fuse, and then we have another fuse. Because these are remember, these are the points where the fuse needs to be connected to. So something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So now we have the fuses here we can connect to. However, we need to upgrade this script here to have multiple fuses, because right now it only have one fuse, which is the first one. So we need to extend that to have multiple fuses. But actually we can still try it right now just to see how it works before we do all that stuff. Because it should work now just with one, but it's not so important. But hello, Kenneth. By the way, I'm soon going. I think it's dinner time very soon. Let me see, Twitch is still not working. Yeah, there's something with the stream. I don't know what it is. So let's see here. Let me make it, change it to English maybe. Boom. Okay. Let's just take this one. Let's just see it in game, and then I think I will shut down for today, or at least stop streaming. Okay. So perhaps receiver 2. Oh, we forgot the new picture, but anyway. Okay, so here we have it. That's pretty cool. Why is it showing this? There's some stuff with this. You can see it some UI pops up and goes away. I have to figure out. There are some issues with that. But anyway, it looks okay. Looks like little gold chest. But anyway, if I put down some kind of cake here, we should be able to connect that one, 2. You can see there is 3 here. I don't think it will work. It will only work for the first one. And here we also have a problem, kind of, you know, these fuses will be kind of going. You can quickly see how this can be very, very confusing, right? I have to figure out a way to solve that. So let's, again, it won't work right now, but right now I'm just trying to connect to different fuses. I don't only think the first one will work. See, now it went to that one. But you can see here, this is not super intuitive to figure out, I guess. But anyway, let's try and spawn the controller here, which will eventually be, and right now it's hooked up so you can control it on the keyboard here too. You know, I'm pressing keys. But you can also press it, like look at it and press E. But let's try it. This one should be hardcode because it's not really made yet. It should only work on Q1. Yeah, and it did. And only the ones that was connected to the first one lit off because that was the only one it knew about. So that's all totally expected. Okay. Maybe that lid is actually in the way. Maybe it needs to open up fully because that's easier to see. Okay, can we stop this? Yeah, okay. We'll have some issue with these fuses. In my opinion, those fuses are way too close together. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's again, remember, this is the first time I have this receiver in the game. But as I also said, I see the problem here. You know, connecting a lot of these, it will be a problem. But you're right. Part of the problem could be solved by just having these spread out, because in real life, in the reference model thingy here, which is not this one, where is it? What? Where? Oh, it's. So in the reference thing here, they are very close together. But in the game, I guess we need to have them more separated. Yeah. And maybe the lines also have to be a little thinner, actually. But I'll have to play around with that. And it also looks stupid that they go... Well, one thing is that they go through stuff. They always do that, but having the screen right there and having them go through directly like that looks a bit kind of weird. So maybe the lid should just be opened fully up. Or it shouldn't even have a lid. Or it should just be this box with these connection points here. Maybe, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. But anyway, I did some Blender magic, which is the first in a long time. But yeah, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 21 minutes stream. That will be it for today. I will be going to have dinner, and then we'll be back at some other point. But good to get back and get some stuff done, and brush off my 3D modeling skills. Blender is not my home. Yeah. Talk to you later. Yeah. See you guys. Thank you for stopping by, and see you in the next one. Bye.